morning again. It's Paula Heller coming to you from Hyde Park in sunny Tampa, Florida. And today is a very, very special day in Heller's Kitchen. Today we're going to be making a chocolate molten lava cake from a sur la table box mix. So we'll do that later. And right now we're going to start off by making a raspberry coulis, which sounds super delicious. You may notice I'm still in my pajamas. That's because it's Sunday morning. So I started off with some fresh raspberries and I'm just going to throw them right in the pan with the extra water that I rinsed them off with, and get that started right away. It's very simple, very easy. I have this fancy new ceramic stove, and this is a double bridge element, but I'm going to start off just on this front element on a medium heat to start breaking these raspberries down for a delicious coulis. I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of sugar. You may notice I am using organic cane sugar from Whole Foods brand 365. Little plug there. And I'm going to add to that a little lemon zest. And I've got this cute little zester. And all you do is cut your lemon in half, put it right on, rotate and squeeze. And it's going to help you filter out the seeds so that you don't have all that hard work. Now I only need 2 teaspoons, but while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and juice the rest of this so that I can save it for a salad dressing later. This is a cute little gizmo. All you do is assemble the different parts, like I'm showing you right there on that little pop-out screen. And then it's ready to go. So I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. And that's a 1/2 teaspoon. Here's the teaspoon. One, 2. Then I'm going to add a little bit of specialness to mine. I'm going to add a couple of fresh mint leaves. Another favorite from my neighborhood home food store. I'm going to leave them whole because in the end, I'm going to puree this and then put it through a sieve to strain out all the seeds. So it doesn't matter as long as my mint leaves are in there. I think chocolate is really sweet and wonderful. And mint will kind of brighten up the dish a little bit and add some fun to it. So I hear things happening already. I've got my handy dandy spatula ready, and I can add a little bit of water to this. So let me head to my water dispenser, but I had water on the raspberries from washing them. I don't want it to be too moist, but I can thicken it up later. Let me drop these in the trash. That's my recycling bin. When I rinse things out, I can just throw them right in there. And I'm going to take this opportunity to shoot a video from above so that you can watch. So the raspberries have really started to break down a little bit. They're boiling a little bit, and I want to test them for sweetness. Just want to see if it has the right amount of sugar. I can do a little trick when I go to use it later today to see if it's sweet enough. But I want it to be a little tart and a little bitter to complement the lovely lava cake that I'm going to make. So I think this is done. It's a lovely, lovely consistency. It's beautiful. It smells great. And so I'm going to, first of all, just strain out the juice with the sieve and make it easier. I don't want the seeds for the actual coulis. It's going to go on the bottom of the plate. I knew that was going to happen. A little disaster, raspberry disaster. Okay. So now I'm just gonna let this drain out and get all that delicious raspberries. Oh, it's like a little raspberry facial I'm getting this morning. So today's a pretty exciting day. My son Jordan's coming home. He's been away for the holidays for a couple of weeks, visiting his girlfriend Miranda in the U.S. Virgin Islands, where we're from. And he flies back in today. And yesterday was his 20th birthday. So I'm kind of making this dessert from him. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. Okay, so if I want to get even more out of this, I can put the puree in my little blender and we'll see what comes out of it to get a little bit more juice. But I think this sieve, it's a fine mesh sieve, so nothing is getting through. It's really doing a great job of draining all the juice. And I could just leave it here for a little while and let it hang out until every little last drop is there. And you know what? I think that's what I'm gonna do. Because the next step is to just put this in the fridge and let it hang out and get nice and cold. And then later today, when I go to make dessert for Jordan and I, then we will be in business to have a beautiful raspberry coulis on our dish. I saved some fresh raspberries too to decorate on top. And of course, I still have some mint leaves. All right, so I'm gonna change out of my pajamas, go continue my never-ending search to purchase a car, take a coffee break, and I'll meet you back here later today for dessert. All right, well, it's been a few hours since I was here. It's a long day. I picked up Jordan at the airport, and now I'm back. I'm gonna make some Chantilly whipped cream, which sounds delicious. We're gonna get that going. Very simple and straightforward according to what I read. Let's see how that works out. So I'm going to pour a cup of heavy cream, and it's very heavy, into my standing mixer bowl. All right. And then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of cane sugar. Delicious. And then the second to last ingredient is going to be a half teaspoon of vanilla. And you know how I feel about the quality of products. I think it's really important. So this is Watkins Pure Vanilla Extract, Madagascar Vanilla. So we're going to do a half teaspoon of that. Since I already have the teaspoon, I'm just going to visually measure. This is not that complicated. It's about a half. Drop it in there. And the last step is the trickiest step, the one I certainly have no experience with whatsoever. I'm taking this fresh vanilla bean, tiny little guy, and it says to cut it in half. And then I'm going to cut it in half again, and I'm going to scrape the beans. So when you have vanilla ice cream, like Breyer's vanilla ice cream, you see those little specks in there. That's because they've gone and gotten this extra exciting little thing. I don't want to waste a section of it. I'm going to bring it right up to the camera and show you. See that? All right. I'm going to put that straight into my mixer. And this is going to have to get back in there the old-fashioned way. All right, so now we're ready to make whipped cream. Now supposedly this is the easy part. I'm going to just put it right on my standing mixer. Oops, I need to add the attachment first. Ah! I thought I was organized, but of course I am not. Because what you don't know is I've been busy doing other things in the kitchen, and I'll tell you about that in a second, but I had to wash this guy. So I'm just going to put him on there. Make sure he's seated nice in here nicely. All right, see that? That's the sound of success. And I'm going to start off on low. Medium, I think. And apparently this is just what I do. So I've been out shopping for cars, did a couple of test drives, maybe have narrowed it down to a few options. Picked up Jordan from the airport and he's happily upstairs gaming. And while I was with you guys, I was making a coulis, and I'll share a video of that with you now. So I was taking the raspberry coulis that I made this morning, I put it in this same mixer, I added some powdered sugar to it, and kept fluffing it up just to kind of thicken it. I don't want it to be a liquid, and I don't want it to be a gel. I want it to be halfway in between, so it smoothly goes off the spoon, but can sit at the base of the plate when we have our cake finally ready. So let me show you what's going on in here. It's amazing what can happen. So as you can see, the mixer is just going, starting to do its job. But we've got a while. It's going to take some time for it to make a beautiful, beautiful whipped cream for us. So I think patience is the virtue. I'm not known for it technically, but I think it's important if you're going to make a very delicious special dessert, because the other thing that happens today is my daughter, Whitney, turns 30. So I have this double joy. My son Jordan turned 20 yesterday, January 11th. So it's an exciting day in the Carter Heller household. All right, so it's been going a few minutes at this speed. It looks beautiful, but now I'm gonna just raise the bar a little bit. I think the only way we're gonna get this whipped cream to turn into whipped, truly whipped cream is to get it a little extra. And I start to see bubbles in there. I see bubbles starting to form, which means air is getting whipped into little pockets. So we're coming down to the end of the whipped cream, and it's starting to look a little extra churned, so I'm just going to add a little more cream in there. Let it go for a few seconds to mix. And now we're going to take it out, and I'm going to transfer it to a bowl. If I can get the attachment off. Oh my goodness. So I'm just going to take this and put it in a bowl and put it in the refrigerator so that when we get back, we're ready to do the last step of our dessert. Look at that beautiful homemade whipped cream. Chantilly cream, not just any old whipped cream. This is going to be a delicious dessert. All right, I'll see you back here after dinner. $425 degrees.
Is it two separate ovens?
No, it's just one oven.
Wow, you just type it? Wow. You just type the number, you don't have to scroll? Amazing. That's like, oh, this is like very cramped right here.
All right, we're back in the kitchen. Jordan and I just got back from some Indian food. We have the oven preheating, and we're getting ready to make our lovely, lovely chocolate lava cakes. Jordan, come in and say hello.
Hi.
It was your birthday yesterday. How was it?
It was decent, I guess.
All right.
Just laid in bed all day.
Okay.
What a surprise.
All right. Well, you go hang out for a little bit. I'm going to finish off this dessert, and I'll call you when it's ready to go.
I am happy to be called upon.
All right. So we have the oven preheating, and we're going to need to do some mixing. But first, I'm going to take our 6 ramekins, and I'm going to spray them with cooking spray. It says on our lovely box recipe to use cooking spray that has flour in it. So I know that when I go to turn these lava cakes over, I want to make sure that those cakes come out on the plate because these are birthday cakes. Okay, so I also, it says in the recipe to use 4 room temperature eggs, 2 eggs and 2 yolks, and to get those whipping together. You've seen my experiment with how to get the yolk out, and last time I broke it, so let's see this time if I can successfully crack an egg and just get the egg yolk. So I'm going to add my 2 whole eggs, 1 and 2, and now we have da-da-da, the magical moment of only getting the yolk. So let's see. I think it's working. We got the big blobby thing hanging. All right, we're ready. Mark, get set, go. It's going in. All right, just one more. I know I can do it this time without breaking it. Mainly because these are birthday cakes. I can't afford to have only half a yolk show up. Okay, crack. All right, I'm gonna have to fish that out of there and get that in. So apparently getting just the yolk out is a little bit more challenging, and I should just do it the old-fashioned way, pushing it back and forth between the eggshell. But I have gotten it done. So hip hip hooray. So now I'm going to raise the mixer and get it going. And I'm just supposed to whip that for a few minutes and then add in a tablespoon of butter. And then the last and final step is going to be to add the flour in. Get this butter creamed in nicely. Where's my spatula? And our final step will be to add the box powder. I don't think there's anything wrong with using a box. I mean, I think some of those brownie mixes are wonderful, cake mixes are wonderful. It keeps you from having to have 300 ingredients that you don't want to have on hand. It feels like I'm always running to the store for little specialty things. All right, so now I'm mixing this in, but I'm going to come in. I've got some butter up on the side. I want to make sure that butter really gets down into my batter. And I also see this is going to be a messy part adding the powder. So I'm going to put this little attachment on. And there, you should be able to keep it from being a complete disaster in the kitchen. We'll see. All right, powder's going in. And I'm just going to let the mixer do its job. I'm not really into working too hard. I want cooking to be easy and straightforward so that people aren't afraid to do it. So I'm just looking inside to see what it looks like. And I'm looking to see that it looks battery, and it does. So we're just going to stop it, because I think this is not the kind of recipe for overdoing it. So let's come back here, organize our station, get these crazy eggs. Okay, I'm done with the eggs. Done with this crazy egg business. Bring over the mixing pan. Mixer, and then I'm going to do some hand whisks to just get this last bit of powder that's on the sides incorporated because I don't want to miss anything. Now it calls for 4-ounce ramekins and I only have 5-ounce ramekins. So I'm going to use a ladle to help me distribute it a little bit more evenly between the different containers, because last time I had some big cakes and had some small cakes, and of course the key to a lava cake is that it's nice and ooey gooey in the middle, and so they all need to be uniform. Okay, I think I can fill my ladle up a little bit more than that. Let's try this for this next one. 1, 2. Number 3. So after I fill these up, I'm going to pop them in the oven. They're going to bake for about 13 to 15 minutes, but they're actually just going to bake until I smell the chocolate coming out of the oven. The center's going to look like a little ooey gooey, and the outside's going to look a little bit more solid. Then I'm going to take them out and I'm going to let them rest for a minute, and then we'll assemble them. So, I think the oven's about done preheating. I'm about done filling the ramekins, so I'll see you back here once they're done and we can assemble this delicious birthday dessert for Jordan and Whitney. Of course, Whitney just gets to see it, and Jordan's going to get the benefit of trying it. All right. Okay, so now it's the moment of truth. I'm going to take them out of the oven. They have to sit for 1 minute, and while they sit for a minute, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do next, this tricky step. So they're going to sit for 1 minute and cool off a little bit. Then I'm going to run a knife around the edge and put this plate over the top and then flip it. And it'll be the magical moment, because that's when we're going to really be able to see if I've cooked them exactly right. It could fall apart right away and just the lava of the volcano of chocolate will just come rolling out, or it'll stand steady and still. If we can make it, I'm going to add some of my raspberry coulis that I made this morning and some of the whipped cream I made this afternoon, and then I'm going to put birthday candles in, and then, and only then, after they're decorated and lit and ready to go, I'll call Jordan into the room and we will have a lovely dessert. So, I think it's been almost a minute. I'm full of nerves about this, but we'll see what happens. What's the worst thing that could happen? I mean, the worst thing that happens is it's disaster. And we have to start all over. Okay. But it feels good. It's sliding away very nicely. So, you know, you have to remember, these just came out of the oven. They're nice and hot, so I can't really not use an oven mitt. I'm flipping it. Please come out, please come out, please come out. Look, it looks perfect. Now these, they look so small, I feel like I could eat 2 of them, but I'm going to be very controlled today. Very controlled. All right, slide the knife around the second one. Get everything positioned beautifully. Remember, we're working with a hot product. I'm going to flip it over. voila, number 2. Okay, so now we come to our grand finale. We're going to put some raspberry sauce all around. It's a beautiful red color. And I think that's going to add a really nice taste. And because these just came out of the oven, the last thing I want to do, kind of looks interesting there. The last thing I want to do is put my whipped cream right on top. So I'm going to scoop it, make a nice little delicate pile of whipped cream right here on the side. This is all homemade from just a mom in the kitchen. I'm not on the Food Network. I can do that in my kitchen. And last but not least, we're going to decorate with a couple of these fresh guys that I washed earlier. A little bit of sauce on that. A little sprig of mint. Pretty fancy. Very delicate hands since we did a little bit of mint in that coulis. And the piece de resistance to finish it off. Make it look like Christmas. Alright, so now let's see if I can get some candles in here. And then call Jordan to come and taste it. We'll do 3 candles for Whitney, since it's her 20th birthday, and 30th, and 2 candles for Jordan. Ah. Fancy candles. I think they're supposed to do something cool for me. Jordan?
Yeah?
Do you want to come in to the kitchen and turn off the lights?
You want me to turn off the light in here as well?
Nah. My candles are dying. We're going to have to scrap that candle idea. Well, it was meant to be really cool, but I'm going to give up. So here's the sign of an inventive chef. Hang on, lights on, Jordan. Never show up to a party with one plan. You ready? For plan B. 1 candle for each of you. Traditional style. Now let's see if that can mess up. Alright, what do you think?
That looks really good.
Straight from the oven. It looks really delicious. Oh yeah, you know, I'm pretty prepared, but I forgot that silly little thing called utensils. Alright. Turn off the light for a second so I can wish you happy birthday.
Don't sing, please.
I won't sing. Happy 20th birthday, Jordan. May you have 20 more and 20 more and then 20 more on top of that, and may they all be wonderful. Happy birthday.
What about the 20 after that?
Well, that gets you to 80.
Yeah.
Come on, don't push it. Although, well, you know, by the time you're 80, you could go on to 180. And happy birthday to Whitney. Your 30th birthday. All right, Jordan, grab forks out of the drawer. Let's taste these and let everybody know how they are. So I know it looks like a lot of effort to go to, but I think it's really important that you do special things for people on holidays. So let's see if we get a little ooey gooey in the middle. Just a little. So last time I made these, I left them in the oven a minute too long, and I may have done it again out of fear of getting them out. But you know what? It's delicious.
It's still really good.
I'm gonna do a bite with chocolate, the raspberry, and a little bit of whipped cream. What I love about this chocolate, it's so rich and dark. It's not over sweet.
No, it's really good. Just the chocolate itself.
It's like a dark chocolate. Well, you know what the best news is with this, Jordan?
You get to make it again.
I get to make it again until I nail it. See? This is the beauty of being in my kitchen. We'll just keep trying and trying until we get it right. Never get up. All right, Whitney, we love you very much. Happy birthday. We hope you've had a wonderful day. And I look forward to seeing you soon so I can try this recipe again on you. Want to say bye to your sister?
Happy birthday. I'll eat your portion.
I'm eating it. Bye. All right, I'm gonna try these silly candles again. This is ridiculous. They're supposed to sparkle and do cool things. They sparkle and do cool things. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Whitney and Jordan. Happy birthday to you.